I am really smart. And
Okay, so we go and we open the door.
Okay, so your next door, it kind of opens without you. You walk through it, closes behind you, and you're in a corridor. Looks like it's about 50 feet long. There's a door on the other end. And yeah, it just seems like an empty corridor.
I have something that lights up, I think.
So you can use your like tinkering to make like a glowing, like almost like a torch.
Orb
Like
thing?
Yeah. You could take like a.
Do I need an object for it?
Yeah, you need an object, but it can be any sort of small object. You can make like if you have like.
I have a spoon.
Yeah. There
Okay.
You go.
I'll light my spoon up so we can see. Well, you can see in the dark. She can see in the dark. So I'm the only one that can't see.
Yeah, but
Right.
it gives you enough light that you can see, and it won't interfere with their like lower light vision.
Okay.
So you can kind of like examine.
Look around. All right.
You guys can roll perception if you like.
I should roll perception.
All of you can.
Okay.
If you want to.
My sad perception.
Where's perception?
That's under wisdom. Here.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh no, no.
I'm not. I got nothing.
You're not.
I'm not even in the ball game.
Oh no, you haven't seen anything. All right, I'm gonna roll my perception, which was a 12 minus 1. I got
11. Okay.
So you guys can also both roll perception, right? We can all roll perception.
Okay, so
And
it's.
we're using the 20.
Is it?
20.
Yep. Your
Is that
20's in
this
the
one?
correct.
Yes.
See? Yeah, your dice.
Oh, it is. You
You've
can
got
see
2
it
of
there.
them. Yeah, so you can
Yeah,
do
you
either
can
one.
roll either one.
Oh,
I just gave you 2 because in case of advantage.
so pretty. Oh, they are very pretty.
Oh.
2.
That's
What's your total?
total of say that was what?
She's a plus here.
+0. Okay, so you rolled a 2. Okay. Mom, you want to roll?
Yes, I will. This is the 20.
Oh.
19.
Plus
19.
So it's under wisdom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
perception. I have +2.
Yep, and then you've got proficiency in it. So that's another +2, so total +4.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
So
good at
19,
it.
so 23. So,
Nice.
thank you, girl.
That's
So,
Well, one of us knows what's going on,
One of us
So-
isn't even in the ball game.
and I kind of have half an idea, maybe.
you kind of, you linger back a little bit as these two kind of walk further into the room. And you're kind of looking around, and again, you kind of get that sense of like, there's something not right about this place. You're like, you kind of like sniff the air a little bit, and you smell like water. And you're looking around, and you're like, why is the floor damp? That's odd. And then you look up and you see the floor is made of like stone blocks. Basically it's like 2 side by side, like in this like 10-foot wide corridor. So the blocks are about 5 feet wide. And you see right before Atina steps on it, one of the 2 blocks are again some kind of trigger. It's gonna depress when she steps on it and probably set off a trap. And as far as you can tell, you'd have to jump across that to not trigger it because it covers the whole corridor. So you basically are like, no, stop, don't step, don't move. It's about halfway down the corridor, and that's what you see.
Oh. So tell us.
So we need to get by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wonder if one of the jumps might help us. I don't know
how would we know? Well, we
how. Well,
would need,
you can breathe underwater, so even if you sit off the top, it probably won't matter to you.
So-
I have not that skill.
so would we need insight? Is that what we would be?
So you've identified that this is a trigger. You can roll investigation to figure out what the trigger does. You could roll. So I know at the very least, Unara has thieves' tools and a proficiency in them.
Oh, okay.
You could use those thieves' tools
try
to
to-
disable
the trap.
whatever this trap is
Okay.
and make it safe to walk across.
Okay. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I do it?
So you're gonna take. It's gonna be these tools. So
Oh, it's in my pack, isn't it?
yeah. So you're gonna roll your d20 and add 2. for your proficiency.
So,
in your, you know,
Out
whatever
of
your
my magical pockets, I pull these like little tools, and they've got like, you know, like long, you know, skinny things and kind of little like pliers things, and I go, don't worry girls, I'm gonna see if I can get rid of this trap for us, because I've done so well so far. I am highly confident. 15?
15.
Okay, not bad. +2? +15?
Yeah.
Okay, so you again kind of get down on the floor and you're like, this time I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna set it off this time.
And I'm gonna talk the whole time.
Yeah. So you basically like you manage to kind of like lever up one of these things, and you see underneath that there's like a mechanical trap there.
Okay.
That when it presses down, triggers something, and kind of looking around, you notice that there's like almost like grates in the floor that seem like they might flood,
Yeah.
and the water would slowly rise.
Right.
And then looking up at the ceiling, you see that there's like a sigil up there.
Okay.
It's probably like a sensor to say like it's reached the top.
Okay. Okay.
So if you set off the trap, you could probably like trigger that thing,
I
and
see.
it would drain it again.
Uh-huh.
But you basically managed to like prop some stuff underneath it, and you know, like you like clip a little wire, and you do some other like thievy things, and in the end of it, you're like, okay, we can walk across this. This trap will not go off if we walk across it.
Yeah. And I told you all about my aunt Bippy. She taught me exactly how to use these tools. And told you the whole story about it. The whole
Great Aunt
time.
Bippy.
Never stop talking.
She's going on my list.
Aunt Bippy. Yeah.
So you safely disable this trap. You can walk across the corridor. The door on the other side just seems it opens and allows you to walk in. Like,
Okay. All right, guys. We did good on that one. High five.
Yay.
Woo! High
all right, good job.
five. Glad I could contribute something.
You did wonderful.
Thank you. It means a lot from someone so tall.
Oh, I love that. As you step into this room, this room seems a lot more like fancy almost. The floor is like a gold veined marble. It's brighter lit, and there's like you can almost hear like on the wind like the sound of like a fire kind of crackling, and like the gentle like sound of like wind blowing through like a canyon, like the crash of waves on the shore, and like the rumble of like a almost like a small earthquake of like that tremble that the earth gets sometimes when it has to move. And standing kind of in the center, on like 4 points of what look like a compass, are statues. They are made of colored stone. They're like, well, when I say colored stone, like the statues are colored to look very lifelike. You have, so on the south point, there is a like a tall, kind of almost noble-looking, like orcish figure. He's got the big tusks and like slightly pointed ears. He's dressed in the traditional wear of one of the plainsmen orc tribes, and he's carrying like an axe, like a almost like a tomahawk, but not quite, and a bow across his back. He looks like ready to like defend someone. On the west side, there is a robed figure. It's like an older human woman. She has her hands kind of like this, almost like she's crying, and her kind of veil and robe is blue.
What kind of figure is she? These are statues.
Statues,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So one is an orc figure. What was the other one?
Like a human woman.
Okay.
She looks older, like elderly aged, and like she's kind of covering her face as if she's like weeping or something. To the north is another robed figure, but this is wearing these like brilliant purples and golds. It's a man, it's an elven man, and he has his hand outstretched, and he's kind of like, almost, he's facing this warrior, and he's kind of like this.
Okay.
He's got the long pointed ears of a high elf. And then on the east side is a youthful looking halfling. He's portrayed as if he's like about to start running, like he's like kind of like about, like you can feel the energy in him about to come forth. His hair is kind of wild, and he's dressed as like one of the traveling caravans. Like there's like a class of halflings that like travel. They're like messengers, and they travel between the caravans to like make people know where places, like, you know, this is a good place
Scouts
to stop.
almost? Yeah.
Almost
Okay.
like that, yeah. But he's like, he looks like he's like running. He's got this like grin on his face. You can feel his exuberance. And that's it. You would have to get a little closer to them and examine them if you wanted to see more details about like what they're.
Okay,
So we're
So
going
I'll-
to investigate.
we're gonna
these
investigate.
statues.
and I take one of these, is this one? One of those two.
Ooh,
17.
Very good. So is that with your
17 and then
+1? So that's 18.
18.
Okay, so you kind of step into the center of this this circle, and you're kind of looking around. You notice that each of the statues has like an indentation on their chest that might fit one of these gems that you picked up. And the other thing you notice that there are words written on the floor that you couldn't see from your kind of distance, but now that you're closer, you can they're kind of written around like the circle of this compass. What it says is, the warrior holds fast against the blasting mage, though even the strongest wall can be borne down by that relentless breath. The elder watches and weeps for the youth, who burns with such potential and yet will inevitably fade.
I think we need to, since the gems look like they fit into the statues, I think we need to
Figure out which one
figure
goes
out
with
which one goes to which one. And I'm thinking the red one, which has the fire in it, would go into the elderly woman. So
She's the water, because she's crying, right? Blasting mage, and fire, crying
youth is-
water.
the youth would be the halfling, I believe, right?
The youth is the halfling. So we've got fire, water, earth, and air. Oh, blasting could be air. Oh, wait, there's something about wears down.
Even the strongest wall can be borne down by that relentless breath.
Relentless breath. Breath is air, but which one of them is breath? If the warrior's standing, the elven man is, that's what I'm thinking, he's the one that's blasting, the mage, the blasting mage, right?
Purple and gold.
He's got purple and gold on him?
Yes. I didn't get the fourth one. We have the woman, the elven man, the halfling.
Oh, the first one was like an orcish
Yeah,
warrior.
Orc. That's probably earth.
So do we take these gems out of the necklace and insert them in each statue?
Okay, so I think the orc is gonna be earth. I think the crying woman is probably, oh, when does the running? Okay, this is what I think. And I'm not very wise, but I'm pretty smart. I think the orc is the earth. I think the crying woman is the water. I think the elven man, or the elven man, elven male is the fire, and the halfling is the air, water. I mean air. The orcs to me are earth. I mean, they're the ones that send their youth into the middle of the desert to try to like survive on their own, you know, and if they don't come back, they're like, well, that's okay, we have more. Or at least that's what I've heard. So that's my instinct, but you guys see if that makes sense, or what did you think, Marigold? You thought that, which one was what? You thought that the earth was, I mean, the fire was the...
I thought the fire was the elven man. No, I thought it was the halfling, actually.
Okay.
But
Because
I think
running.
I was wrong. I have wisdom, but it fails me at times. I think I think you've matched them up pretty well. So I think we need to take the necklace.
And give it a try?
Yeah, and give it a try. Insert them before into their appropriate
slot.
statue. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Which
would you
ones
like to
do you
do
start
that?
with?
If I rolled Arcana on this, would that help at all with discerning what's what?
Yeah, we can do that.
That could?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
Go
just
for it.
just to make
Yeah.
sure.
Just
I got an
11.
So I got a 15. That's
Okay.
not the worst.
yeah.
That's good.
Maybe tell us.
So you're kind of looking at these things and you're like, okay, like we have elements and we have like kind of almost archetypical
Right.
like figures here, and you're kind of like you're thinking back on what your friend told you about like what it says in this primordial elemental language, and you're pretty sure that the orcish warrior is probably earth. So you're confident about the earth aspect of that. You're also fairly confident about the water being the woman
Okay.
who's kind of weeping.
Yeah.
The two you're unsure about is the mage and the youth.
Okay.
But you're kind of leaning a little bit more towards the youth being fire,
Okay.
only because it's set opposite to water.
Oh.
So they're kind of
Okay.
they're kind of opposed,
Right.
and
Gotcha.
water and fire are opposed elements.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so that's a little bit of insight that you think. You know,
Okay.
you're pretty confident about that, but
The other two, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think maybe opposite of what my initial instinct was. Okay. All right. So I tell you guys that.
Okay.
All right. What do you guys think?
So my original thought was that the halfling was fire,
Right.
but then air made sense too, with the running. But where it's the opposite, fire is the opposite of water, I can see where that might be a pattern. So I think we should try that.
Should we try that first? What do you think?
I agree.
Okay. All right. Let's redo that.
okay. So which one are you starting with?
We'll start with the ones we're pretty confident about. So we'll start with the water.
Okay. So you take this blue gem, you set it into this kind of little slot that's there. It glows with magic, and then you see from behind like the kind of hands that are there, you see tears start to flow down the face of this woman. So that seems like it's pretty appropriate.
Okay. One down, guys. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So which one do you want to do next?
Well, you're pretty confident about the orc, right? And the earth.
I am. Yeah. What do you think?
I think we should go for that one next. Would that be
Go for the.
The orc?
the
The earth? Earth with the orc?
Okay.
All right. We're gonna try that next.
Okay. So you slot this like kind of greenish gem in there, and immediately the statue almost seems to move and like plant its feet more, and you see like these kind of spring green vines start to curve up its the axe, and kind of turn it into like a almost more wicked looking, like briar covered thing. So that's pretty earthy.
So that's pretty good. I
That's
got
good.
that one.
Okay, good. All right,
So
good job, guys.
fire and air.
Yeah, which one do you want to try first?
I'm gonna say fire.
Okay, so we're putting fire in the halfling?
Yes.
Yes, agreed.
All right. So you put the kind of reddish orangey gem into the little slot, and you feel rather than see, like you feel the heat of the sun almost shining down on this like running creature that's like, you know, like kind of running for the joy of running, and behind you almost see like a like the flickering of flames as if like he's running so fast that like the ground is catching fire behind him.
Okay.
So you kind of have that.
Awesome.
That's right.
Okay,
So-
good thinking.
That worked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good job, Marigold. All right. Last one.
Last one.
Okay.
So you put the white gem in the slot on this elven mage, and there's like a kind of a magical swirl, and then air kind of blasts out from the palm. It doesn't go too far, but like it's definitely there, and you almost see like the robe kind of blow back a little bit and then freeze again, as if he's in the midst of like pushing something away from him.
So we did it.
All right. Good
So
job,
we did
guys.
The whole room kind of like lights up, and you see it. You like a almost like a spotlight illuminates the door on the other side,
Okay.
and you hear a voice say, "Congratulations, students! If you'll just exit the door, we'll take you back to the open work." But you get to the final door, and unlike the other ones, it doesn't open for you. And you hear kind of dimly from almost like from the other side of this door, you hear like a snarl, and like, you know, someone saying, "Get back!" and it almost sounds like combat has begun somewhere.
Oh.
On the other side of the door.
Okay, so there's something happening. Guys, I think something's happening on the other side of this door. I
think
don't know
so
if we
too.
should go through.
It
Are there any
sounds
other
a
doors?
little-
There's no other door or windows.
Nope.
So we have to go through this
We're
door.
gonna have to go through,
Well,
possibly.
I'm small. Can I try?
So you open the door just a little bit, and the sounds immediately get louder. It's almost like there was like a barrier of like you know, it was like basically trying to make sure you couldn't hear anything on the other side. And you like peeking through, you see it's the first room with the Sphinx in it.
Okay.
But the Sphinx is attacking a group of 4 people that you saw in the room with you before.
Huh.
Future
Like students?
Yeah.
Guys, I can try to sneak over there and see if I can talk to the spellcaster and find out what's going on. But this is what's happening. They're attacking the Sphinx, and the Sphinx is attacking back. But they look like they're students. Okay.
So we have to go out there if we're gonna help.
Yeah, we'll have to go in there. What do you guys want to do? You want to try to help the fellow students?
Yes, I think we should go
Their
out there.
clerics down.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
So,
It's your jam.
So,
And you rush in. You see the guy with the shield and the sword take another really kind of devastating blow as he moves to go block it from the other 2 characters in the room, and he goes down, like kind of falls down. He looks like he's unconscious. He's kind of bleeding. The kind of gray horned man who was kind of further towards the back is also kind of slumped against the wall. Looks like he took like a slash or something to the chest. Both are still breathing, but they're definitely out.
They're knocked out.
You see the other 2 kind of separate a little bit and like are kind of, they're like hovering on the sides of this Sphinx, who's kind of like figuring out which one it wants to attack next.
Okay.
And they look towards you as you enter the room. and kind of like basically they like acknowledge you as like, I hope you're here to help.
Right, yeah.
And they kind of dive back into combat. So, you guys are going to roll initiative right now.
So we're gonna all roll a d20,
Yep.
right? Ready?
Yeah.
1,
Yeah,
2,
together.
3.
Bada boom, bada bing.
I got a 10.
I got a 2.
Okay, so I'm first.
So, add your dexterity modifier to your roll.
Dexterity is +3.
So, what's your total?
13.
All right, next.
I end up with a 1 because I rolled a 2 and I had a -1.
That's fine. Sometimes it's good to go last in combat.
All right, so I have a 3 and I'm adding +2, so I have 5.
All right, so I'm gonna do then guidance, and then
Okay.
then I'll do the insight, and it's a d20.
Yep.
Great, 5, great.
I think it's a 5. It's a 5.
It's a 5. -1 is a 4, but
You
with
get to add a d4. I
a
believe.
d4.
So that's the little triangle one.
Is it this one?
Yep.
What is that one?
It's the one on the top.
It's a 4.
4? Okay, so you add 4. So you rolled a 5, you add a 4, that's a 9. -1 is 8.
Not particularly great.
So yeah, so you're not totally sure what's going on.
I have succeeded in being more confused.
In like the recesses of your mind, remember reading once that like sphinxes don't like it when you answer a question wrong. But this seems like an extreme reaction.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that could be it. Marigold, your turn.
Think
Background
about
playing
what-
music to inspire you. Just so that you know, I'm
Got some battle music?
inspiring battle music.
All right, so I think we should throw the flame.
Okay. I
Okay,
agree.
I'm with
Okay,
you.
because
I'm behind you.
we can
Way
heal.
behind
We can heal after.
Yeah.
But we need to get it down.
you. Yep.
So
Roll your d20 and add 4.
18.
18, so
Oh,
22.
wow.
So you
No kidding.
squarely hit this griffin.
Woo,
Well, this
Nice job.
sphinx.
Miracle.
Roll that. That's how much damage deal.
7.
Nice. Good job, Miracle.
Good job.
Right.
So
Little thing that
you
she
produced this flame.
is.
What color flame is it?
It's pink.
Pink. Okay, so you
Love
you
it.
produce this pink flame, kind of like it like almost blossoms in your hand like a flower, and then catches fire. And you throw it, and it hits the sphinx like squarely in the face.
Oh, yes.
And it brings one of its big paws and starts like trying to get the fire out of its eyes. You've probably distracted it pretty well too. So that's very good.
Mhm.
Tina, it's your turn.
Okay, so what was I thinking? What was I thinking?
With it.
Sleep.
You were
I was-
thinking about maybe, yeah.
I have sleep.
Okay.
But I want to hear like what kind of a song do you play to put it to sleep?
Yeah, because you're playing a song.
I'm playing a song.
Yeah, you're a bard.
Yeah.
A bard. So let's see.
Is it a lullaby?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of a,
Lullaby, go to sleep.
Mary
Mary Manilow.
Yeah.
Mary Manilow is really big right now. He is the heartthrob of the land of the Ninemaze Academy.
I meant that.
We've got all of his music orbs in our caravans. Mary Banilow's my favorite. Please. Please.
So that's my jam.
Please play one of his
Songs.
yeah.
Not Mandy though. Anyway, so
She got
I,
an 18.
18. Okay. So you start playing your Manny Manilow song, the Manilow song. It's the hottest song.
Top 10.
Yes, exactly.
In all the land.
Yes.
They
It's very
both
popular.
like it.
So you start playing this song. You're kind of you're doing it on your harp. Somehow you make the harp sound kind of like also like the percussion and the bass. So like you're like tapping your feet and you're like you're doing pretty well.
And I'm dancing.
And the Sphinx almost looks like it's gonna like kind of it comes towards you almost like it's gonna like try to like stop you from doing it, and then it kind of stops and it stumbles and it like kind of stumbles to the side again, and then it slumps down and starts snoring.
Awesome.
So it's
Sound
unconscious.
Okay.
So as you're kind of waiting there, a little bit tense because like this thing could wake up at any moment and like start attacking again.
Right.
So you now see that there is a door in the room that you didn't see before. It's probably like the door to go back into like this little waiting room that you were in. You hear like shouting, and finally the door like is barreled open, and he's like come out of, you need to get out of here right now.
Okay.
And he gestures for you guys to kind of go. You guys are left in like this kind of little waiting room. You see Professor Nilo, the elf that kind of brought you in here. Professor Nilo kind of turns to you and says, "Thank you for helping. As you can probably tell, that wasn't supposed to happen. It seems as though the Sphinx, which we had under a charm spell, broke free. So I apologize for the difficult end to your test. But I am pleased to say that all three of you have been accepted for entrance into our academy.
Congratulations!
I'm Atina.
I'm Unara.
I'm Marigold.
And I'm Estero.
So nice to
Nice to
meet
meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet all of you.
Welcome.
If a professor tells you not to touch something, you should probably avoid touching that.
So rebellious.